everyone, Fafo here, and today I have Zenerox with me, also known as Zen. And today we're going to be looking at some Magic the Gathering cards. To give you a little bit of background about myself, I just got into Magic within the past year or so. I've mostly played Commander. My knowledge is not as high as Zen's. Zen is a lot more experienced than I am, but I'm so happy, I love playing it. We have a great friend group that plays together. We mostly do Commander game mode, which we play mostly on weekly or semi-weekly bases or more. And we also like to go to some events once in a while. I just did my first pre-release event last weekend with Zen, and we got first place. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I'm Zenerox. Yeah, Zen. We're gonna go by that as well. So I have been playing Magic since Return to Ravnica, which came out around Core Set 2013. So Return to Ravnica, right before Innistrad, and then I've been playing relatively consistently since then. So I also mostly play Commander. I love Limited as well though, so I do drafts and sealed on Magic Arena, and I do the odd pre-release here and there as well. So I have a relative idea of both 60 card gameplay as well as Commander on the competitive side and on the more casual side. As Fafo was mentioning, we do mostly play Commander in our play group, and we usually play in the higher casual part of the kind of the meta there. So we're mostly in those 7s to 8s, if anyone knows what that is, area is where we play. And so as Fafo had mentioned, we're gonna have him rate some cards today. So there's some cards that some of them I think are super cool, and some of them are kind of busted, and some of them suck. And I think it's a little bit funny to see what Fafo thinks. All of them came out years before you started playing, so it'll be a different things for you to see. And some of them we used to play years ago, but they aren't played at all anymore. And it'll be interesting to kind of see what you think of them. So
yeah, well, should we hop into it?
Yeah, let's get into it. Okay.
So we have Stuffy Doll. It is a 5 colorless artifact creature construct. It is a 0/1. Okay, so it has indestructible. As Stuffy Doll enters the battlefield, choose a player. Whenever Stuffy Doll is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to the chosen player. Okay. And then tap ability, Stuffy Doll deals 1 damage to itself. Okay, so looks like every turn you can tap it and do at least 1 damage to anything.
Yep.
And it is indestructible, so it can take as much damage as you want.
Yeah.
And I think this is a really good card.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be some of those cards with those X abilities where it deals X damage to target player.
Yep.
So then that way you could just keep hitting Stuffy, and then it deals damage to the player that you choose.
You also use it for blocking.
That is true. That was my initial thought. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and if nobody attacks you, you can tap it to deal 1 damage to yourself.
Yep.
There's always at least 1 damage.
Yeah. And what is that in the art there? It looks like a bunch of arrows or something, eh? There's something.
I don't know. It's in the art.
I don't know.
You know?
Yeah, I think it's those little
It's
needles
like
that you
needles
put in.
and like
yeah, cool. Okay, so I think Stuffy Doll is a good card.
100% locked in. Good card.
Locked in, good card.
Okay, so Stuffy Doll, unfortunately,
Oh no.
it's not very good.
Oh shoot.
It used to be. I used to put it in decks. It's kind of funny when you play it, but when you think about it, you're playing 5 mana for a 0/1. It doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
It can attack, and the other thing it does, which you didn't really talk about, is that you're looking across the table, and I'm telling this person that I am targeting them for the rest of the game.
Oh, gotcha.
So the effect that you're doing to them is some damage, but probably kind of minor, but you're making them a direct opponent for the rest of the game,
Right.
which can be quite negative.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, it doesn't have flying or reach,
So it's not evasive.
so it can't block things.
Right.
It's a 0/1. It can't attack anyways.
Yeah.
Well, it can attack, it doesn't do anything. But yeah, so it won't take. It's not as good as you think it is. There's some times where you're right. You can do damage to the whole board, and Stuffy Doll takes the damage. Then you do that damage to someone, and that there's been some decks built around Stuffy Doll in the past doing that, and I'm sure someone out there has made Stuffy Doll work in a deck before.
But it's pretty specific to be able to use that ability for what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, unfortunately, even though some old players really enjoyed Stuffy Doll when it came out, it is no longer the staple that it never really was. But
okay, pricing.
Okay, so pricing wise, so this card has been reprinted a couple of times.
Okay.
To give you some context, it came out in Core Set 2013.
Okay.
So a bit over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's been reprinted. I don't have the exact amount of printings on it. Probably like 2 or 3 times since. It's rare.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
So it's
okay. I'm gonna go with $1.50. I'm gonna shoot on the lower end.
all right.
Just because I feel like what we talked about, it's not a great card, but it hasn't been reprinted too many times.
Yeah.
But okay, you want to pull up the value?
Yeah. So I got the value in here on my cell phone. We're looking at face-to-face pricing. That's the website that we use in Canada. For our pricing, and it shows $2.50.
Oh, so I wasn't too far.
Yeah, so you're actually pretty close.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Well,
what's up next? So we have Rhystic Study. It is a 1 blue mana, 2 colorless.
Yep.
Enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may draw a card unless that player pays 1 mana, 1 colorless. Yeah. So I know I looking at this now, I think I've seen an ability similar to this before.
Yep.
Might have been in one of your decks or one of our other play group players.
I know a common one that we've seen in our play group is Smothering Tithe.
Okay.
So that's that white enchantment that makes treasures commonly.
Okay.
And gotcha. That one sees lots of play.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that one says whenever it's the other way. It's whenever somebody draws a card, they have to pay 2 mana.
That's what I'm thinking.
Or they get a treasure.
Okay.
But
yeah.
it's
that one. Yeah, that's definitely the one that.
But 2 mana is double of 1 mana.
Yeah.
So.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be good in the earlier on stages when people are trying to utilize all their mana.
Okay.
But further into the game, I know some of our friends always have mana up. So I'm gonna say, do I have to say good or bad, or can I say in between?
I want you to you gotta commit.
I gotta commit.
One
okay.
side is
one
this.
Side.
Other things you can think about is that it's
each spell that's played. So if they do multiple spells,
yeah. If they pay the mana, then you don't get anything for it. You paid 3 mana for a card that doesn't do anything.
Mm-hmm. I'm so torn with this one. I see the positives, I see the negatives. I'm gonna go with it's a good card because I know card advantage is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's unfortunately.
Ah!
No, I'm just kidding. Rhystic Study is like one of the best cards in the game.
Let's go.
Really funny quick story with Rhystic Study. It actually came out in Prophecy, and it was an uncommon.
Oh,
so
cool.
This printing that we're looking at is a rare, but
yeah.
It was originally printed as an uncommon, and it is now seen as one of the strongest cards in Commander. Period. So,
wow.
If you put it in your deck, people will accuse you of playing competitive Commander because it is that strong of a card.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool to know. Okay. Can you comment on if it's been reprinted at all?
So it's been reprinted a few times. Like I was saying, like we can see here that is a reprint there at rare. So normally it's printed at rare now. Yeah. It was originally in Prophecy, which is from, I'm not 100% sure my exact dating on that, but it's like 10, 15 years ago ish was the first printing. And only recently did it start getting reprints.
Okay. I'm gonna go with 1375.
1375.
I think it would be a decently priced card.
Heuristic Study. Okay. Okay. So I found the printing for Heuristic Study. This is the Jumpstart printing, and your guess was
1375.
1375. So this version of Heuristic Study, it's not one of the fancy versions, currently goes for $68.
Oh wow, yeah, I was totally thrown off by that one. I still don't know like what cards are worth. You do say it's one of the best, so I can see why it's highly sought after.
One of the best ones, yes.
But just I was trying to go based off some of the reprints, but maybe I need to put a little bit more weight. For valuing cards on how good they are rather than just reprints.
Yeah. Interestingly, the copy that I have that I play in my deck, which will show up on the screen now, is this one.
Okay.
A fancy version.
Oh.
This is from the Arcane Secret Lair that came out a couple of years ago, and it goes for $80, just under $80.
That's like a whole commander pack. You almost get a dog meat deck. Wow.
Yeah. So that's Heuristic Study, but yeah, it's cool. It's a strong card. Really good.
All right. Card number 3. You want to do this one?
No, you're evaluating it.
Okay, so I have to read it.
You gotta read it.
Okay, I gotta read it.
Yeah.
Consulate Crackdown. It is a 2 white, 3 colorless enchantment. So when Consulate Crackdown enters the battlefield, exile all artifacts your opponents control until Consulate Crackdown leaves the battlefield. This seems very strong to me. I feel like I'm going to be thrown off, but my gut instinct says it's a really good card. But that all depends on if your opponent is running an artifact deck or it has a lot of artifacts that are important.
Everyone has Soul Ring.
But that's only 2 mana.
Yeah.
And this costs 5, so by the time that you're bringing it in, the Soul Ring...
have other mana rocks too.
That is true. That's a good point. I'm gonna have to go with the good card. I saw it.
I think everything's a good card.
I still have lots to learn.
Yeah.
I immediately thought of my Urza deck and how this would just totally shut me down.
Dude, this Woodwrecker is a
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good card? Bad card?
So interestingly, Constantly Crackdown, though it does shut down all artifacts quite well, it is played in almost no decks.
Oh no.
There could be some uses that do it. It's cool that it exiles all artifacts. It only hits your opponents. So it doesn't hit your own stuff.
Yeah.
Which is an upside to it. I know when I opened this card in a pack, I thought it was super cool and I was going to play it. But there is surprisingly a lot of times when people don't have artifacts that you want to take out all of them.
Right.
The comparison that lots of people will make are with the card Vandal Blast.
Okay.
So Vandal Blast, it has a similar ability, but it's split. So first off, it's in red. Okay. So it's a 1 mana card that says destroy target artifact you don't control.
Right.
Or pay 5 mana and kill all artifacts you don't control. But the big benefit there is it's flexible.
Yeah, you get to pick between the two.
Yeah, because sometimes maybe you just want to hit one person's thing. But then this comes back to that the political thing we were talking about with Stuffy Doll.
Right.
Where killing everyone's artifacts doesn't always gain you as much favor as it would have been if just killing the one that actually matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other problem is if they ever kill this enchantment, they get all their stuff back.
That is true. So it just shuts them down temporarily. It's not a total kill spell.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, how many reprints has it had?
Alright, so Constant Crackdown, even though we've established as a bad card, has never been reprinted.
Whoa.
So it's only been reprinted in this is Aether Revolt. This is the set that it came out in.
Okay.
Kaladesh was a large set, and we used to do large sets followed by small sets after. So this is a small set that was after the big set of Kaladesh. So it had a smaller print run than normal large scale sets that we see now. But it was a bad card.
Yeah.
So the only printings that are available are this normal one and the pre-release promos.
Okay. That's a tough one. We haven't talked about anything that's kind of had some of those characteristics yet.
Exactly.
I wanted to say $5 to $10, so I'm gonna
Okay.
go in the middle and round up to $8 because it's crappy. But yeah, it's only been one print,
Yeah.
and I've never heard of a card that's only been printed once.
Fair. Also, in Kaladesh was, I don't know like the exact years, but it was like 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay,
Something like that.
Okay.
All right. So you $8.
let's go with $8.
Okay. So on face to face right now, Constantly Crackdown in non-foil goes for 35 cents.
Ah.
So yeah, it's a terrible card. It's not played anywhere.
Oh no. Makes sense. I just thought maybe there'd be some collectability aspect to
Yeah.
it because there's only been one print.
Yeah.
But alas.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
All right. Let's move on. Let's go
Card
to
number 4.
card 4.
Lotus Petal. Kind of like Black Lotus, right?
Yeah,
The famous
yeah, it's a
card. I know
Lotus.
that one.
Yeah, that one we know.
Okay, and it's in the old
border.
border, right? Because I have that Urza deck, and that
Yep.
has its reprints, but with some of the old
Yep,
borders.
the old
So that's
border.
how I recognize that.
Yep. This is original old border though from Tempest.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Okay, Lotus Petal. It is a 0 mana artifact. You tap it, you sacrifice Lotus Petal, you add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Play this ability as a mana source.
So with the last bit mana source thing, we don't put that on new cards. That just means that it's not like you can always activate it.
Right.
It's instant speed.
Instant speed.
It's-
Okay, cool.
Technically, it's faster than instant speed, but for
Oh.
argument's sake, it's instant speed.
Interesting.
It's confusing.
It's 1 free mana that you can use at any time, and you can play it from your hand at any time.
You play it at sorcery speed,
At sorcery speed.
and
Okay.
it's basically
But
a treasure.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
But it takes up a card slot in your deck,
Oh.
and you only use it once.
Oh,
It
but
goes to your
it's
graveyard.
free value.
Yeah. A 0 mana.
And what year is that? 1997, that says, hey? Okay.
Yeah, that's probably about right from when Tempest came out.
I think that.
Oh, it says it there. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, 997. There we
97,
go.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that it's a free mana, but like
Right.
you were saying, it takes up 1 slot out of your whole deck.
Yeah, you only have 99 slots.
Yeah.
So,
And if you draw that 1 card as opposed to something else,
yeah. What if you
Can
draw
make
it
it
on turn 7?
yeah, then you're really SOL.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with it's a bad card for that
Yeah.
reason because it takes up a slot. Like I said, it's free value, but you might need a better card than that.
So it's a bad card.
Yeah, yeah.
No, sorry. I was confirming with you that you're saying it's a bad card.
Yes.
Lotus Petal is a really strong.
Oh, no. What am I like? I think I got 1 right so far.
Yeah, you got Ristic Study
I got
right
Ristic
so far.
Study.
No, Lotus Petal is very strong.
Yeah. Okay.
Having free mana of
Mhm.
any color,
Yeah.
it is very, very strong. It's played in higher level commander
Yeah.
to get your combo off. Sometimes all you need is 1 extra mana.
Right.
So normally on your turn you can only play 1 land a turn, but with this you can. It's kind of like you have a free land for
Yeah.
a turn.
Can
And
ramp.
You can do your combo 1 turn sooner.
Oh, yeah.
Or other decks that can recur it and bring it back from the graveyard and use
Yeah.
it over and over again.
Oh, cool.
And do things like that. Typically you won't see Lotus Petal in the lower powered decks
Mhm.
because you're right, it takes up a slot in your deck and doesn't really do a whole lot except for give you free mana, which anything free is good. But it is a very strong card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now comes the pricing part.
The pricing, yeah. Okay, so we're just gonna double check the printings here
Okay.
of Lotus Petal. What you think about it?
Mm-hmm. All right, pricing. So because we were talking about of how good and
It is a little overpowered.
overpowered,
You're
yeah,
right. It's really strong.
yeah. And how many times has it been reprinted? Quite a
Okay.
few.
So I just looked it up.
Mm-hmm.
We trying to confirm it. On Face to Face, which is the website that we use to do all of our pricing. They show 5 printings, but notably, it's on their site. They never have like a real reprinting, so it's kind of confusing. So they had a couple of like rare promo versions you can get, like the Kaladesh Inventions, which are you could get, it was like one in every like 200 boxes or something. So
wow.
super rare.
Yeah.
So there's been a couple of reprintings, but it hasn't been a ton of. So it's been printed a few times, but not in a set, not in a proper set.
Right.
It's never been reprinted in a proper set.
Wow. Okay.
Though this isn't common. So this was a common from Tempest.
It was a common. Okay.
And Tempest was a full set. So this was around when Magic was getting to be quite popular.
Yeah.
So it would have been opened quite a bit.
Yeah. I'm gonna shoot for the stars and go $125.
Interesting. Okay, so on face to face, this version, which is the original printing from Tempest, is going for $31.
Ah.
So we're a little bit off.
I shot too high.
We're gonna get there eventually.
Okay. I just figured because there was 5 reprints, some of them were super rare that you're mentioning. I'm like, if it's a really strong one, a lot of people might be seeking it a lot. I don't know how many cards were produced back in the day with the first few sets. And now I would imagine there's so many more Magic players in now. You know, supply and demand type of thing. And also cards getting wrecked or lost over time.
So we'll show it up on the screen as well for Fafo. But so this is the fancy version.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it came out in Kaladesh Inventions, was the set that came in. So they were really difficult to get. They were in normal packs, but they were extremely rare. Yeah. We can, just for fun, what do you think that one went for?
This rare one?
The rare one. The normal one is $30.
I'm gonna go with $70.
$70 for Inventions Lotus Petal.
Right, because the first one was a common, you said.
This is a common, so this is a mythic rare, and it was they were extremely rare to get.
I'll go back up to my 120 that I originally thought. I'll do that for this mythic rare.
Sure. So Lotus Petal Kaladesh Invention goes for $720.
That's out of the solar system. It's not even. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, they're crazy. I don't think I've ever seen one in life before. They're super cool, but they're really hard to get.
Wow. Okay, we have what? One more?
I think we have one more to go.
We got one more. Okay, let's check it out. What do we have next? Next, we have Viscera. And Zen and I were talking about this. I'm terrible at pronouncing, so I asked him beforehand. And I guess there's a few different ways to say it, but I'm going with Viscera. It is a 1 black mana creature who is a vampire wizard with a 1/1 stat line. Okay, sacrifice a creature, scry 1. Okay, so it's easy to get in. I could see how this could be good in the beginning.
Yep.
Because you want to get the best cards in your hand as soon as possible. Also, if you have creatures that are making, that might be useful to just keep creating them and dumping them to scry a bunch.
Yep.
The other aspect is it is black.
It's black, yeah.
And I know that cares about graveyard a lot.
Yeah, commonly black cares about graveyards, yeah.
So that might help you with some other combos that you might have going.
Yeah. It's just a 1/1.
It's just a 1/1, but it's only 1 black mana.
Yeah.
With a pretty cool ability.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's a good card.
Yeah?
Yeah. Locked in.
Locked in.
Locked
Easy.
in.
Real fast. Viscera, good card. Viscera is a very good card. Yeah, we got one.
2 right. Let's go. 2 for 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, Viscera here is a really strong card. It's we haven't looked at other ones that show this yet, but it's 0 cost to sacrifice a creature. So you don't have to pay any mana. So there's a lot of creatures, and then you're I think you're going that your brain was going that way of tokens are easy to sacrifice that can give you value. Things want to die sometimes in Commander. You have things with really powerful death triggers. Yeah. But we need to be able to get to those. We can't always just get the death triggers without just like letting them sit out. Yeah. We need to kill our creatures somehow.
I'm with you.
So it's actually been argued that if you had a 0 mana card that maybe an artifact or an enchantment that was just sat on the board and all it said was sacrifice a creature and did it give you any benefit, that would be a good card.
Yeah.
That would be a strong card.
Cool.
The other thing that's we didn't quite mention, but because if somebody ever rats the board, destroys the whole board, and you have a Viscera out, you can sacrifice your whole board
the whole thing
to scry one that many times.
Cool.
Which is pretty awesome.
That is pretty cool,
it's
Zen.
pretty good effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Pricing. That's a common, right?
That is a common.
It is common.
You got it. That's a common.
And I'm still working on all my commons, uncommons, rares, all that. Okay, pricing. Now, let's see. It is a common card. And how many times has it been reprinted?
So on Face to Face, there are 6 real reprints.
Wow.
There's one more reprint that was done in a kind of a promotional event that was serialized, and there was not very many of those that were released.
Cool.
But I see 6 printings on Face to Face, and it is a common. So
yeah.
It can be printed when it's been in sets that have been printed it again at common.
Yeah. So again, I'm still new to all this. I don't know if 6 is a lot of reruns or not.
It's a decent amount.
It sounds like it is.
Yeah.
And it's common. I'm gonna have to go on the low end with this one. Okay. I'm gonna say 60 cents.
60 cents.
It's a good card, but if it's really common, I guess you could throw it in a lot of decks. So if it was cheaper, you might buy a bunch. But
yep.
I already said 60 cents. So let's go with that.
Yeah. So that's actually a really good guess. They are. It kind of looks like they range a little bit depending on version, but they're between $0.75 to $1.
Oh, so that's
I would say you're on point there. It kind of changes a little bit depending on how worn out the card is, but it'll be close to that 60 cents, 70 cents range. So
there we
go on right.
Woo!
Yeah. All right, so that kind of wraps up the video for today. Bit of stats there. We got 2 cards right. It looks like we got Ristic Study and Viscera right.
Yeah.
A few misses on the other ones. A few misses on pricing, but that's
very close each time, though, right?
Yeah.
Very close.
Very close. Yeah. Pricing's a bit harder to do though, especially when we're not used to buying Magic cards as singles. I know Faffel's mostly been buying precons.
Yeah.
And that can kind of skew your concept of pricing for cards.
Yeah. $700. Or a bunch of precons.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you, but I like having the different play styles. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, 2 out of 5. We're hoping to do more of these in the future. We're looking at doing more commander ones. We're looking at maybe doing some 60 card ones. Maybe do some limited ones. It kind of depends on how we're feeling, I guess, and where we want to go, and if we get the feedback.
One other thing to note: we are uploading this on our channel, MTG The Swarm. So if you haven't already, go and check out our first video. I'll link it up here. And it's an introduction to this new game mode that our play group has introduced and created. We've been introducing it locally to some of our other mutual friends, but we have finally brought it online to you. So up next in some of our upcoming videos, we're going to do a playthrough of the deck. We'll do another video on the deck that Xenerox has created, so you get a bit of an idea of what it actually will look like. But of course, if you watch that introduction, that tutorial video, it's however you make it. So no deck will ever be the same.
Yeah. The Swarm, from what we've had, has been a hit with everyone that has played it. I've brought it to a bunch of different groups. Very different people have played it. It's gone through a lot of iterations of figuring out rules and changing rules and doing different things to make it work, and it has been a ton of fun. So highly recommend checking out the first video. Bafo did a great job of kind of soloing that project with a bit of our pointers here and there, but we got it in, so definitely check that one out.
All right, until the next video, catch you later.